10. 10. 10. 10 Africans. Okay? 10 Africans. 10 Africans. Each one of those is an African human being, right? Okay? Now, your job is to tell them they're not diverse enough. Okay? That's your job. Your job is to tell them that 3 of these have to go. 3 of these Africans placed by a Chinese, a Brazilian, and an Indian. Okay? What are you telling them? Okay? What are you telling? What are you telling these 10 Africans? Well, what you're telling them is, you're telling them that they're not good enough. They're ethnically not good enough. That their ethnicity is not good enough. And the only way they can be good enough as an ethnicity is to have a Chinese, a Brazilian, and an Indian in their group. To actually make them ethnically more diverse. Understand? Now, if you think that's wrong to do that to 10 Africans, all of the same, say of the same tribe, okay? 10 Africans of the same tribe, that 3 of them have to leave, or bring in 3 more, which will replace those 3 to make them better, okay? They're not good enough right now, okay? Because they're not diverse enough. So the only way, and you as a flawed and fallible human being must make the decision to make them better, because somehow you have infinite wisdom to say that these 10 Africans are not good enough as just African. That to make them better, you have to actually bring in a Chinese, a Brazilian, and an Indian. Okay? Now, if you think that's wrong, as I say that about Africans, why is it okay if you say it about Europeans or English people or Irish people of Irish ethnicity, that 10 ethnically Irish people, just Irish people, is somehow not good enough? That to make them good, you have to actually bring in different ethnicities to make them diverse. So how is this diversity improving us? Since when did we become gods that we can actually decide how much ethnic mix, how much ethnic diversity makes us good? Are you a god? Can you decide that? Have you infinite wisdom? Do you? Do you have infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge about numbers of human beings, about genetics, about mixing of races and ethnicities to say what will make a better race or ethnicity? Do you have that knowledge and wisdom? Have you studied? Have you even researched it? Have you done anything on it? To let alone to have full coverage of understanding that a god may have. Right. I'll take it you don't. I'll give you another one, right? Here's a way to approach this. If I put my foot in the front door of your family home, say your family's great name, your second name, your family's well-known name is McDonough, or say Ryan, okay? Or say it is Thompson, or say it is Wilson, or say it is Ferrer, or say it is Varjash, or say it is I don't know, Ling or Lee or some other name, or Kawasaki or fucking Suzuki or whatever. Okay, if I put my foot in the front door of your family's home, does that make me your family name? Does it? Do I suddenly take on the characteristics of your family? Do I then become included in your family as a family? And I take on the second name simply by putting my foot in the front door. Does that happen? Okay? So then why is it you think that when people come to Ireland, they set foot on Irish soil, they suddenly become Irish? Is your brain working? Is it? Okay, so moving right along, we shall have a look at we shall have a look at this. So here we are. A friend sent me this article this morning, and the story here is from the Irish Examiner. It's from Irish to Arabic. Cape Clear looks to a more diverse future. It may have, so it reads, it may have lost one of its 2 summer Irish colleges. So Irish college, for anybody who doesn't know, anybody who's not Irish or doesn't know about this, an Irish college is where you go to study second level education, but you study it in the language of Irish, okay? So it says, Cape Clear may have lost one of its 2 summer Irish colleges, but Cape Clear Islanders are considering opening up a new language college for those interested in learning or polishing up on their Arabic. Okay. 3 islanders have already started learning basic Arabic since Cape Clear. Keep in mind, folks, that the way newspapers write, they don't write what is, they write what their paymasters want. It's called rhetoric. So they will, it's like, if you say it enough, it'll become true. If even a lie, this is well known in the whole theory and psychology of propaganda, that if you say a lie often enough, it becomes the truth, you know? So, okay, just keep that in mind, that's how newspapers work, all right? So, but we're going to take what they're saying and work with it anyway. So, 3 islanders have already started learning basic Arabic since Cape Clear became the first Irish island to be accepted as a destination for approved refugees under United Nations and Department of Children scheme, right? Now, keep in mind that the United Nations has a replacement migration policy in place. Keep in mind that the United Nations enacted a thing also, aside from that one, they enacted a thing called the Global Compact for Migration, which allows for the movement and migration of peoples from developing nations into developed nations. Even though we don't have a definition for a migrant, and we don't have a definition for developed nation, and we don't have a definition for a developing nation, right? What's your definition, you know, of these particular things? And even if we did, what right has anybody to come into a small little country like Ireland of 4.6 native Irish people, 4.6 million? Keep in mind that Africa's population is 2.5 billion. Okay? Billion. How many million in a billion? Okay? And India's population is 1. It's not like they're ever going to die out anytime soon, you know? But we will. We most certainly will if this keeps up. All right? So let's just go through this together and see what they're saying. A family from either war-torn Syria or Lebanon is due to arrive on the island off the coast of Cork in a few weeks. They were due to have arrived by now, but the increased spread of COVID-17 has put matters on hold, right? As well as having a humanitarian aspect to it, the arrival of a new family with children on the island couldn't come at a better time for the island's national school. Couldn't come at a better time. Right, so up until Christmas, the school Náisiúnta Inis Cléire had 8 children attending, but 3 left when their parents had to return to the mainland. There remain fears on the island that if they lose their school, they will dash any chances the island has of reviving its ageing population. And there, folks, again, is the spiel, the rhetoric by the United Nations that European countries, England and Ireland, have aging populations, and so then that makes it okay to bring the rest of the world in here who has no heritage here, no history here, no identity here, no ethnicity here, and oftentimes no religious belief here of any connection to our identity in our own homeland. But because we have a few old people here, that's all right. So let's continue. There remain fears on the island that if they lose their school, this will dash any chances the island has of reviving its ageing population. Indeed, last summer, the population of the Irish-speaking primary school dropped to just 2. The latest in a string of concerns about its future that has emerged in recent years. Okay, well then just have more children. Isn't that what it's all about? Have more children. But look, like we're only going on what this news outlet is telling us. Like children are being brainwashed and fed with the information that they're getting from television, what they're getting from the internet, about modern pop music, about modern culture, about liberal progressive culture, about LGBTQ plus, about all that. That's what they're being given, right? They're not being allowed to actually form their own identities in their own communities. And so why would they be interested in, we say, their own culture, their own growth in their own location and geography? Because everything online, everything on TV is educating their minds to believe that they are universal citizens and that it doesn't matter. None of that actually has any value, right? Well, I'll tell you what, this thing with the mask and this thing with the test standing 2 meters apart and not being able to go further than 5 kilometers from your home is God's way of actually readdressing that situation. So the prospect of closure reared its head in 2018 when the management at the 152-year-old school had to launch a nationwide campaign to find a teacher. They eventually found 2, one of whom had to live on a yacht moored in the harbour due to temporary problems with finding suitable accommodation. What about the school? Could he not have lived in the school? A room in the school? No. Nobody can build on the island? Nobody can bring bricks and boats to the island? No. This isn't a way of solving the situation? No. Look, there's some land there. I mean, is anybody interested in their local area? Why are they seeking to actually rip people from the Middle East and bring them into a cold, wet, dreary island that is supposed to be a centre for speaking Irish? But now, apparently, they want to turn it into a centre for speaking Arabic. So let's see. Mary O'Driscoll was one of the islanders. It's not like they don't speak Arabic anywhere else. Mary O'Driscoll was one of the islanders who applied last November to part of the Irish refugee programme. How much are you getting in your pocket, Mary? Where's your husband? And how many children do you have? And why aren't you at home minding your children or your grandchildren? It was set up in 2015 in response to the humanitarian crisis that developed in southern Europe to mass forced displacement from conflict areas, which I believe Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize while his administration was, in fact, bombing the crap out of several Middle Eastern countries. All right, so developed in southern Europe due to mass forced displacement from conflict areas. The IRPP has the responsibility of ensuring Ireland meets its commitment to take in 4,000 persons in need of international protection. Since its establishment, the IRPP has accepted over 2,000 refugees and asylum seekers and aims to take in many more in coming years through both state-centred and community-sponsored programmes. Under the scheme, families are found homes in rural and urban communities. Why? Why can't... I thought that if you're a refugee, right? I thought if you're a refugee, you are supposed to go to the first safe country. How are they making their way all the way up into the northeast Atlantic on a little island of 4.6 million people? How are they making their way and why are they making their way? If they're refugees, they're supposed to stop in the first safe country according to the Dublin Agreement. All right? I don't agree with any of this, I'll be quite honest with you. I think nobody has the right to actually come up into our countries. Even if Ireland was responsible for burning the world down, you don't have the right to come here. I'm not taking your female social shame. Keep it for yourself. Save it for your children. All right? It's not working. Even if the Irish people went to war with the world, burnt it to a crisp, nobody has the right to come here. Nobody. One doesn't equal to the other. How do you make one equal to the other? So, Cape Clear residents on their own community sponsorship scheme are currently raising €10,000 for incoming refugees. So the people in the local area have to fork out cash out of their own pockets to fund the people following money to come to a little island off the coast of Ireland. Right, guys. I knew a person who worked in a community centre in an Irish town, a large enough Irish town. She told me that some Syrians came in at that time, all right? 2 or 3 Syrian families at that time. She said that once she saw that they had achieved their status in Ireland, once they had achieved security of status, that the eldest boy got himself a car, right? Got himself a car which she could only envy. She thought that his car was a nicer car and a more up-to-date model than hers. Not only that, right? After they had achieved citizen status and security within this country, he went back there for holidays. He went back to his country of origin, the country he had fled from as a refugee, on a holiday to see his family back there. If it's so dangerous, why did he flee to Ireland and get a new car in Ireland, which an Irish person should have? The money will help with initial accommodation and transport costs. Mary O'Driscoll, who owns 2 of the island's 3 pubs, said, "We are really excited about this. 3 of the 19 members of our sponsorship committee have already started learning basic Arabic." Why? Why aren't the people coming here studying like crazy to learn English, which is the spoken language of this country? Shouldn't they be learning English as best they can? Why are these people learning Arabic? So, okay, maybe one day we will even have... Okay, I wish I had some way in the software to outline this, but it says maybe one day we will even have an Arabic language summer school on the island to replace the Irish language school we lost. No, there's no why. I know why. I'm being rhetorical myself. Why turn Cape Clear into another Arabic island in the world? An Arabic location. A geographic location where people speak the Arabic language. Why do that? Like, if they were really into diversity, wouldn't they want to keep Irish ethnicity? Wouldn't they want to keep it? If they were really into diversity in a little island of 4.6 million people, and a language which is just on the edge of teetering into being endangered, right? Why would they want to replace it with Arabic? Okay, bear in mind that in Cork, in the English market, the famous old English market, all chicken, and in all butchers in the city, is halal, which means that all chicken has a religious man from the Muslim persuasion, an imam, say a prayer and do a ritual over that meat. Okay? So, the systems and structures have been put in place to allow for and to create the environment for Muslim people. Now, you know how I feel about Islam and Muslims. Fine. Absolutely fine. The majority are the most moral people you could meet. Some of them even better Christians than the lapsed Christians in this country. Okay? And you can take that as an insult if you want. Learn from it. But they don't belong here. Their heritage, their history, their culture, their ethnicity is not from here. It's not. They shouldn't be coming here where they have no identity here. They have no identity here. They have no shared history. They have no shared heritage, events, peoples, tribes. They do not belong here. They belong where those things exist for their people in their countries. Okay, we'll continue with this. We're trying to do everything to keep the prospects for this island. I know this video will probably get blocked. I don't care. I'm recording it so I can put it up on BitChute as well. So we're trying to do everything we can to keep the prospects for this island's future as bright as possible. But apart from that, we are also delighted to be able to play a role in a wider global humanitarian crisis. Yeah, but it's not a wider global humanitarian crisis. From the shores of this small Cork island. The support among islanders, yeah, they'll always use the humanitarian thing to push your emotions. Look what I was watching there. Look, guys, I'm going to link this in the description. Here's a great video. All right, I just have a look here, see how we're doing. Drop frames 390. You see that? Okay. So this is by a YouTuber called Quantum of Conscience. I strongly recommend you go check out his channel. This is called Old School Propaganda, the White Feather Society, where women would go around to men prior to World War I, and men who didn't go and blow their brains out on the battlefields of France in World War I, women would stick a white feather in their clothing to shame them, to say you are a coward. It was propaganda, you know? It was one being saying to another, go get yourself shot, all right? You're a coward. It was early propaganda. So go check out his video. I will put a link to it in the description. But apart from that, we also, so the same thing is here. We have a woman who should be at home looking after her children and her grandchildren, looking after the future of her own culture and her own people. Instead, what is she doing? She has been weaponized to actually either through the love of money, because she has no man, she has no man to provide for her. She has not given herself to that. She instead now believes she is free and independent, free and powerful woman, independent, so powerful that she can go and bring people from the other side of the world into our society and our culture. Because she has, as a woman, she has on average higher pathological reciprocity and higher on average pathological altruism. That's what women are. That's what women are. That's how they look after small children so well. That's why they're such good nurturers, because they have pathological reciprocity, pathological altruism. It should not be used for this purpose. This is why men are supposed to fucking rule society. This is why men are supposed to have the major voice in society. So that this kind of thing doesn't happen. You don't lose your culture. You don't lose your nation. You don't lose the very ground upon which your people exist on. All right? So I think that's all. And that is my rant done for the day. Too far in his hate. If the Irish on New Year's Eve, I could hear this guy. He spit at him in disgust. Yeah, Big Red, get lost. Pay trolls, you know, like I know the deal. I don't explain where the hate is. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds, right? Big Red, hate. Where's the hate? Who am I hating? Explain now, put it up in the chat. Who am I hating? I'm angry that my land is being given away. Explain where my hate is. I'm angry. I'm not hateful. Explain. Explain. You have 10 seconds. Hate. I want you to tell me who I hate. Who I hate. Explain it. You have 10 seconds. Oh, are you aware of your own evil? Another paid troll has just said, Jeebus, the hate dripping off this guy is unbelievable. We know it's a weaponized word. Tell me who I hate. Don't keep saying I hate. Say it. You've 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Irish Furian, listen to yourself. Jesus, the hate dripping off this guy is unbelievable. Say who I hate. Say it now in the chat. Give me a name. Give me a demographic. Give me who I hate. And then back it up with an example. Start now. You've 10 seconds. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, Big Red says, you'll never reach him. He's too far gone in his hate. Weaponized word. If the Irish Furian of New Year's Eve... Okay, so he just repeated himself again. He copied and pasted. These are the trolls, guys. Look in the chat. These are the trolls. I must figure out some way to record the chat stream. We'll see. Anyway, so we know that words like hate is a weaponized word. It's how they project. These two trolls are all the end. They could be Emmanuel. They could be. They may not be. Good morning to you anyway. Look, I know what they're doing. I know what it is. I know what they're saying. I know how it's worked. I'm using this as an example to show anybody who doesn't understand that when they use words like hate, it's like anger is justified. You understand? If I come barging in your front door and I sit down on your chair and I make myself a cup of tea without you having ever seen me before as a stranger, right? Like, how would you get me out? Would you go, "Oh, lovely guy, la la la"? No, you wouldn't. You'd be angry. So get out. You don't belong here. That's justified anger. That's protection. How else do you protect your family? How else do you protect your extended family? How else do you protect your community? How else do you protect your nation? Maybe these guys don't have any of that. Maybe they're all empty. Maybe they have no families. Maybe they have no community. Maybe they have no nations. They're probably just people lost on the sea with believing that they are their own gods with no connection to anything. It could be just empty vessels. Still waiting. Big Red, you haven't said who I hate. What's going on, mate? You losing it? All right, so we'll leave it there. Okay, Emmanuel, good to see you. This video may or may not make it up. If it doesn't, I'm recording it, so it'll be put up on BitChute and other places as well. So won't be stopped, guys. This, as a man of my nation, as a man of my people, I have the right to actually stand my ground and say when something is wrong. All right. Okay. All right. So, okay. That's it from me. And I hope you enjoy this stream. There's the article. I'll put a link to this article in the description. I'll also put it in my Telegram. If you're not subscribed to me on my Telegram, I will put a link to my Telegram in, I think, in the about. It might actually already be in the about section of my profile on Irish Fiorian channel. But I'll put it up on the Irish Fiorian live channel as well. Okay, take it easy, folks, and I wish you well.